Alright, so one of the tools that's included in this pack is something that's really simple. We call it the 1stShot Commander. It's something that will replace like a mil.master or something like that. The cool part is you can print this out and print 1,000 of them and use them over and over and stuff them in every bag you have and have backups. It's nice because instead of paying $30 for a mil master or something like that, you can just keep on printing these and reusing them. The other really nice part is they give you on one page in front of you, you have all of your cosine numbers for all the way around you. So if this is your firing position, now I'll show you as we continue on here, you'll be able to see that if the wind is coming in straight at you, it's a 0% wind. You know, people talk about half value and this value. I think you'll see that it's pretty amazing that if you're only off by 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock, you can be 34% difference in the value, and that will throw a shot off tremendously. I would much rather have a direct crosswind because you can be off and still only be 6%, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But you can see here that this is your target height in inches in red. You have your mill, which is what it'll be when you mill it with your optic. And then you have the range of the target. I'm going to show you how to use that in just a second. And then we also have our angle of fire corrections right here. So you can do all that with this card. And like I said, you can print as many as you want. So let's go to range estimation first. Step 1, you're going to take a mill reading on the target of a known height. So we're working with a 6 foot or 72-inch target right now. So you're going to mill that target. We determined that it was 2 mils. So step 2 is you're going to put the bottom of the paper at your 2 mil mark. So you're going to take this little piece of paper and you're just going to mark 2 mils. You're going to mark 72 inches. So once you mark each of those, first step is to put the bottom at your mill reading, 2 mils, and then put a little mark at 72 inches. That's the height of your target. Okay. Fourth step is you're going to move the baseline now up, the bottom of your paper up to this baseline. The baseline is indicated by the diamonds on each side of the line. Then, now that mark that you put when it's at 72 inches is going to tell you exactly what your corresponding range is, 1,000 yards. So that'll be very quick and easy for you to mill a target. You also can make adjustments for angle of fire, which we'll go to in just a second. So now that you've ranged your target, you're going to want to put that on your range card. This is just a simple range card that we have included in the system. You can use any range card that you want, but this one's simple, helps you ultimately put all your targets on paper and give you some description of what you're dealing with for these different targets. For this one, we're going to put it out at 11 o'clock. It's a 6-inch steel silhouette, and it's moving at 3 miles an hour. Just because I want to demonstrate our ability to make those calculations. So if this is, we're up on a ridge and we're shooting down 30 degrees down onto the target, this is how we can quickly make that adjustment. We just move our original mark where we're at 1,000 yards for 72 inches down here to that baseline again with the diamonds. So this is your baseline right here. You're going to come down and then you're just going to mark 30 degrees. And then you're just going to move it back up to 1,000 yards right here, and it's going to tell you your shot is actually 850 yards for your actual elevation correction. And I'll show you that as well as we build the shot inside the system. But you can see here, that's how quickly you can make that adjustment for a 30-degree shot. No calculation, just one mark with a pencil, and you back up here and you're like, okay, 850, and then move on. So we're going to look at wind now. This is what I was saying earlier. There's a couple things that come into play when you are looking at winds. People feel comfortable shooting straight into a wind or having a wind directly behind them. The crosswind is intimidating, but the truth of the matter is that if you can get a really accurate reading on your wind speed and it's a consistent wind, you would be much better off, statistically speaking, if you have a wind coming in, almost direct crosswind. I mean, look here, we're looking at 270 degrees, which would be a 9 o'clock, coming in from the west. And then we go 20 degrees, moving towards 10 o'clock here, and you see it's only a 5% difference in your calculation. So you got a full value and you got a 95% value inside of 20 degrees. But if you look up here, and this is just the way the cosine works, you can be looking at your target, and if you're off by 20 degrees, that's 35%. And that's enough to throw a shot way off. The other thing you have to look at is if you have a headwind coming at you 10 plus miles an hour, it will affect your shot. And if you have a tailwind coming at you 10 plus miles an hour, it'll affect your shot on the vertical. So these will both affect your elevation, not your windage. But you can lose 1/10 of a mil easily just with a 10-mile-an-hour wind at 1,000 yards. So to use the 1stShot commander for wind, this is always your firing position. This is your rifle muzzle pointed in this direction. So the wind is coming at you, and this is the angle that it's coming at. So you know that this is a 34% value wind. Okay, if it's coming at you from here, it'd be a 17%. Here it'd be a 0%. Here's your half value wind coming in, and you can see as it comes across, the wind changes sides. You can see it just changes the full value wind here and half value wind there.